Welcome, or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. I just kind of wanted to try something new, try it on, see how it fits, see how it feels. I know that we're already a couple days into Pisces season, but I just wanted to kind of give or put out a quick Pisces collective reading, just kind of check on the energies coming up here. Of course, if you have Pisces placements like Sun, Moon, Rising, this may impact you a bit more. Although, you know, Pisces is in everybody's chart, right? Even if you don't have placements there, you know, we're all in Pisces season, so we're all going to be affected by it in some capacity. Like, I don't have specific planets in Pisces, but my midhaven is in Pisces in my 9th house. So, you know, I mean, that has some meaning also. Anyway, I have the Pisces card out here, and then I have the 12th house card out as well from the Black Moon Astrology deck. Pisces is the ruler of the 12th house. It's the 12th sign of the zodiac, right? So I just kind of wanted to read little excerpts from both, because I know I've said it before, but I am still learning astrology. It's definitely a slow-moving process for me. So I figured it would just be better for me to read from the book. That way I'm not trying to stumble over things that I'm just not quite well-versed in just yet. So for Pisces, it says, in faith and trust, you must surrender to what is. Pisces, the double fish, is ruled by Neptune, god of the waters, oceans, and seas. It is a mutable sign, its home being the 12th house of self-undoing. It is mysterious and unfathomable, but can indicate a life that needs clarifying as well as definition. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac and symbolizes the old soul, one who has passed through many lives, has picked up much here and there and experienced almost everything along the way, but sometimes doesn't process things well and tends to repeat mistakes. Pisceans have trouble maintaining boundaries, sometimes even feeling half erased. If you have ever observed a Pisces, you may notice they don't appear as intelligent as they really are. You could even call them gullible or vague until they start cranking out works of genius. And they can be so physically tuned in, it'll knock your socks off. Pisces is a beautiful sign with much compassion, denoting true visions that link up with the collective. Those ruled by this sign know much, know it all deep down, but have trouble sorting matters out. They are able to sense deeply, except for certain things extremely bad for them, which turn into mishaps and disasters. But through it all, Pisces still survives. Dreamers, artists, composers, poets, mystics, victims, and prisoners all fall under the rulership of this water sign. There is little doubt that higher consciousness falls under the domain of Pisces. In a superficial way, it looks as if the world is their oyster, with their talent, beauty, sensitivity, and a connectedness with the unknown. Pisces sees the best and is an idealist, but the flip side of this is cynicism, which can come in waves. So dreams will lead you now, but clear thinking is a must. You may be extra sensitive to beauty currently, poetry courses through you. You feel connected to the source. You like the idea of surrendering to what is. Compassion flows. Take advantage of inspiration and channel it into a creative project. If you have a notion or a dream, swim to it. Capture that wave. A great idea from the past may reemerge, and you may want to return and finish it. But you will want to tackle this idea soon when you are inspired, or the entire matter could disappear into the rushes of the deep. And then everything else is just kind of like if the Pisces card was pulled for like a specific question. So we're not going to go into that. So the 12th house says, it is time to get on point. It's not a time to ignore or overlook what's there. Things may get fragmented. The 12th house of the zodiac is the most mesmerizing of all of the houses. Mysticism, dreaming, drowning, vast seas, and surrendering are all themes that belong to this house of self-undoing. It is also the place in the chart where we lapse in our judgment and make bad choices. Like the sign of Pisces that rules it, the 12th house falls at the end of the zodiac, which indicates a type of passage or rebirth. This home contains the meanings of all signs and planets and all other houses within it. The 12th house stands for the all. Even though astrologers refer to the 12th house as the gutter or the garbage dump of the zodiac, like what? It is still distinct in its meaning. Evolved souls and the doomed live here. Within the 12th house are the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows. Ruled by Neptune, the planet of confusion and drunkenness, prisoners, shut-ins, saints, artists, and mystics call this home. Imagination, linking up, and connecting to the unknown are all facets of the 12th house. It is where the material and non-physical worlds connect. It is both the beginning and the end. The 12th house offers bliss, spiritual fulfillment, the meeting up with twin flames. It promises of losing yourself in some beautiful other. But it might be like trying to hold on to a cloud. This house of poetry and oceans is enchanted. It is where we lie to ourselves as well. This house also represents water, toxins, poisons, perfumes, candles, hidden chambers, secret desires, Christ consciousness, and martyrdom. The 12th house tells us to forget about ourselves and live for others, but this may bring confusions and also peril. It is fear and paranoia. It is beauty and love. It teaches us to write poetry and understand the messages from heavenly spheres. The 12th house inspires us to show great kindness. This just says when the 12th house comes up in the reading, something is amiss. There is something about the situation you are unsure about, or at least are not privy to. All is not as it seems. Without information, it's difficult to move forward. The signals you're getting are probably wrong ones. The medical test you've had, the diagnosis is not likely accurate. What seems obvious right now is only a mirage or obscure. Interesting. Interesting. Let's just see, what is the message for Pisces season? What is the message for Pisces season? I think what is just kind of so interesting I apologize for being a bit more quiet. It's just, I feel like it's just kind of like absorbing into my brain. I think what is just so interesting though is, you know, the things that just kind of stick out to me are, you know, mysticism and magic and, you know, even that part about the 12th house about things kind of not being quite what they seem, and, kind of this overall feeling of just kind of getting, you know, swept away in the magic of whatever it is. Because it seems like, as with all things, right, you know, you can be swept up in, you know, kind of the lower energies of, you know, toxins and, like it was saying, you know, toxins and, you know, mysticism and just kind of believing the things, you know, at face value, or you can, you know, almost just kind of be on this wave of Pisces kind of magic and, you know, allow it to, like allow, like I think it even said, like channel creativity through it and just kind of allow it to almost kind of flow out of you instead of, and almost just kind of seeing like what comes of it, you know, like without having any attachment to the outcome or that's very interesting. And I think, I don't know if it said it, because seriously, I don't know if you've picked this up about me yet, but I can't remember what I said 2 sentences ago, let alone what I just read 2 minutes ago. But, you know, just kind of having this mysterious kind of, you know, feel to it. And, you know, sometimes we do want to place meaning to kind of that mystery and want to figure it out, right? Instead of, like I said, just kind of, you know, flowing with it and letting it be a mystery and almost just kind of letting it unfold as it's meant to. Interesting. I know I've been shuffling the cards here for a bit. I don't really have a spread that I'm working with. Here, the same rules apply as always. I don't shuffle reversals into the deck. The card does actually need to fall out of the deck. If it falls in the reverse, we'll take it that way. We have the King of Cups. Well, look who it is. The Pisces card. That's pretty cool. We have the Nine of Wands at the bottom of the deck. I mean, you know, if we need to kind of get more cards out here, we will. We'll just kind of see how it goes. I mean, honestly, I'm just kind of letting this unfold as it may, actually. So, you know, I'm kind of inadvertently in the energies of Pisces myself. I knew that I just wanted to do this reading. I really didn't have a plan for it. So I'm just kind of like going with the flow. You know. So we have the King of Cups, Pisces. This is a Pisces card, right? The King of Cups, whoops. Hello. The kings are the highest expression of the suit, right? So the King of Cups is intuitive, very much in the flow. You know, he talks about emotional balance. It just kind of feels like there's this, you know, kind of sense of contentment here. You know, like he's got his suitcase or briefcase here. He's kind of walking along the beach is what it looks like. There's this boat back here. He's reading a book. And then we have the Nine of Wands at the bottom of the deck. And even this, you know, with reading a book, which is interesting. The Nine of Wands talks about feeling a bit, you know, kind of burnt out, feeling a bit beat up. Okay, sorry about that. I ended up getting a call, but then I was sitting here just kind of staring at these cards. And I think, you know, what's cool, and it's almost just kind of playing into like that flow that I was kind of talking about, like just almost kind of letting things unfold for you. But it's interesting because we like look at we have these three shells here, and just how like even the synchronicity of that, right? Which is also kind of interesting because, you know, Pisces, the symbol for Pisces is the two fish, right? So how did we get to this hermit crab? Symbology. I'm honestly not sure. I was trying to Google it a little bit and I couldn't really, I think there might be like fish food or something that's called Pisces crab. I don't know. Anyway, I went down a random search with that. But then I was like, let me just kind of look up the symbology of the hermit crab, right? Like, I don't know if I've ever mentioned it in a Pisces reading. I feel like I've mentioned it in other readings where, you know, if you are just kind of seeing the same, either like the same type of animal, the same type of insect, you know, then it's a good idea to look up what the animal totem is for that, that thing, whatever it is, right? Like there was a time where I would see a ton of ladybugs around. So I looked those up. And there was also a time where I would have a ton of flies in my house, which is weird. That's not usually a thing. And so finally I was like, okay, I get it. Like, let me look up the totem for flies. And that was a couple years ago. I can't remember what it said because I don't know if I've, you might have caught on about me that I can barely remember what I said 2 sentences ago, let alone 5 minutes ago. And especially 5 years ago, I have no clue. But anyway, after I looked up the totem for flies, I never had a problem with flies being in my house again. It was the same with spiders. So anyway, I looked up the totem for hermit crabs. And I have my little iPad here. And it just says, the hermit crab is notably known for perseverance. It can soar through difficulties and take on enemies with courage. If the hermit crab is your spirit guide, you're reminded to trust in your strengths and abilities to get you to the places you would want to go. The spirit animal, as a spirit animal, the crab is symbolic of adventure and exploration. The hermit crab likes to wander around their environment in search of new territories and food. Hermit crab spirit animal people are also typical of moving from one place to another in search of opportunities. If the hermit crab is your animal totem, ensure in every endeavor you take on, never leave any stone unturned. It is the only way you will live life free of regrets. People born of the spirit animal can, however, be very hostile. They have tempers that can arise anytime, and as a result, end up hurting everyone that comes their way. The slightest sign of provocation to them can escalate to a grave issue. On the flip side, hermit crab people can be tender and loving when they decide to commit to the same. They have a very high level of emotions, and that is the main reason why people find it difficult to relate to. If you happen to be in the company of a hermit crab person, prepare yourself for a wave of strong and divergent emotions. In Native American culture, the hermit crab spirit animal was symbolic of rebirth. The hermit crab spirit animal could appear in your life today, carrying the message of change from the spirits beyond. The dreams you want to work on cannot come true if you keep repeating the same mistakes. Adjust your sails accordingly if you want to realize better results. The other way is to take your soul on a journey away from this world by exercising prayer and meditation. The crab spirit animal is reminding you to practice patience in everything you do. Let's see. Let me see if there was anything else. There's also, you know, the symbology of, you know, because they change shells also as they grow, right? So I feel like I read somewhere about transitioning to accommodate growth. So, you know, what's interesting too is that they may even change shells before they're actually, you know, like the size needed for that shell, right? Because, you know, like it's kind of, you know, you're going to grow into it, right? Last thing here. Oh, it was just kind of talking about boundaries. So I think what's interesting, I mean, of course, you know, if you want to look up the hermit crab spirit animal or totem, you know, of course, feel free to do that if you want to read more about it. But I think what's just kind of interesting is that some of those things that it mentions are things that, you know, like were kind of talked about in the astrology book about Pisces, like kind of needing boundaries and kind of, you know, like transition. Perseverance, right? Very interesting. And so cool that, you know, like it came out that way. And then, you know, and again, just kind of going back to the King of Cups, right? And just being in control of their emotions and understanding too, right? Like, you know, understanding what your emotions are about yourself, about the situation you're in, about the people around you. And then the Nine of Wands, you know, like, again, I think I might have said just, you know, kind of this invitation to assess where you were and where you are, and also kind of where you want to go. This, you know, the Nine of Wands definitely has the perseverance there, you know, feeling a little bit burnt out, but still moving forward, right? Even if you are just going to kind of take this break to assess where you're at, there's still a plan to move forward, right? The 9 is also a completion, and I feel like, did the 9 of Wands come out in the Pisces reading too? I feel like it did. I feel like it might have come out in the blocked position. And then we have discernment underneath that, which is the judgment card in the traditional tarot. And, you know, this talks about transformation, transitioning, right? It's also interesting that, you know, the King of Cups is walking, you know, kind of to the left. And even, you know, the owl is flying kind of in the same direction, right? So that's why I'm saying, like, there's still movement forward. The red shoes, in this depiction talk about freedom of choice. You know, like this was, you know, kind of your decision to have this transformation, whatever it is. We have the Seven of Wands underneath that. The Seven of Wands, you know, it kind of talks about having to be a bit defensive, like really kind of standing your ground. We have these 6 wands here, and, you know, like her and this cat are almost kind of like stopping the energies, right? Like I said, just kind of having to be in a bit more of a defensive posture, whether that's, you know, kind of having to defend like what you're doing, or even just having the perseverance to continue on the path that you're on or have been on. We have the King of Pentacles underneath that. You know, the King of Pentacles, again, with the king being the highest expression of the suit, right? The Pentacles talk about our money, finances, our physical body, resources, materials, right? So this could be that you've been fighting to get into, or just kind of, you know, having to exude a lot of this energy to get to a better position when it comes to your finances, and even just your position with your job, or even just maybe getting to a place where you feel a little bit more stable in that sense. We have the Seven of Cups behind that. There could have been a lot of options. These could be all of the things that you've tried already. That's kind of put you in this Nine of Wands energy of just kind of feeling a bit beat up. The Seven of Cups talks about, you know, kind of having options, is a bit daydreamy. This could be just also, you know, kind of the vision that you've been holding on to, right? Like, you know, we have the Seven of Wands and then the Seven of Cups on either side of the King of Pentacles. So just having to really kind of hold on to your, like, your why statement, right? Like, why are you doing kind of what you've been doing? And if this is the why, like if this is the reason why you've been doing what you're doing, you know, like it's just kind of, you know, this feeling of like either opening up doors for you, or, you know, it could just kind of create, you know, the stability or the additional income or whatever it is could just kind of create these additional options for you. And that's the vision, right? Is that if you were more in the King of Energy or King of Pentacles energy, then you would have more of these options available to you. I could keep going. Like this would probably be like 3 hours long. Yeah. So I don't know. I kind of keep going back to these three. So maybe I'll just bring them out. There's the Page of Wands, the Magician, and the Seven of Pentacles. Another 7. The Page of Wands, you know, kind of talks about embarking on like a new adventure. They're firmly rooted in the ground, right? So having that feeling of being grounded, but also, you know, having this creative energy that's fire. Like just, you know, kind of this feeling of like wanting to just kind of move forward already. The Page of Wands is very playful also, you know, like I said, like just creative, passionate, like just kind of, you know, like ready to go, ready to get moving. The Magician is using everything that you have available to you to manifest the things into your life. And that's also just kind of like a reminder that you do have everything that you need in order to do that. I kind of just want to like move this up and see if I can bring these down. See if it'll all fit. I think so. And then the Seven of Pentacles talks about, you know, just kind of like feeding that desire. Like, you know, you have to continue to foster, you know, these things that are growing. Like, you know, he's feeding steak to these plants here, right? So, and then there's like this little water can down here. So, so, you know, again, just kind of like putting your energy into changing your environment. And we have the the Knight of Pentacles at the bottom. There, like I said, I can keep going, but but it would probably be like a 3-hour long video. The Knight of Pentacles is a bit slower moving. I mean, this figure is riding a snail, right? So this could be a process, again, that you've been in for an extended period of time. I feel like, again, that was kind of, you know, like one of the messages with the Pisces read for March. You know, and it's clear that you are really actively trying to like turn the wheel in your life. There's a Hanged Man. Yeah. And it's just been kind of a really slow process. It could have, you know, kind of cost you a lot of energy, a lot of time, even a lot of money. You know, a lot or little, you know, honestly, it's still kind of has cost you those things. So I would have to say that the message for Pisces season is that your persistence is, first of all, it's being recognized. It's all over the place here. So if you have kind of been persisting through a situation, again, you know, it's definitely very clear you're being recognized for that. And this down here just kind of, you know, like it seems like there's going to be some sort of payoff. Like, you know, with the Seven of Pentacles, it's like, you know, the journey that you've been on here and what you've been feeding your energy into is going to blossom. That's the whole point of the Seven of Pentacles, right? Like, you know, you're putting your energy into it so that it turns into something tangible and something that you can monetize, right? Even if it is slow moving, even if it has been slow moving. We have the Six of Pentacles behind that, which, you know, it talks about reciprocity. It seems like there is going to come a time where what you are giving is going to be returned to you. So, you know, like obviously what you have been kind of pushing through, there's a lot of meaning there, right? And it seems like there is going to be some sort of return on that. And I also think what's kind of interesting, and I'll kind of leave it here, is that for me anyway, even, you know, just kind of like sitting in this energy, I'm being reminded about the mystery and being in the flow and kind of letting things unfold. Because in my head and the way that I work, also, I would love to be able to determine an outcome. I'm like a super true crime buff, and right, like just kind of being able to just kind of see what's coming next and just kind of being able to figure it out, right? Like that's very much the way that my brain works. And even, you know, just kind of like sitting in this energy and, you know, kind of looking through all of these cards, for me, it doesn't necessarily feel like there's like a clear outcome. And maybe that's not even part of the reason for this reading, but it's also just I'm being reminded of even my own words about, you know, just kind of being in the flow and letting things unfold and, you know, almost kind of like appreciating the mystery. However, you know, even just kind of seeing all these cards laid out, I can understand if you've been in this energy for an extended period of time, whether it's been a major energy in your life or if it's just kind of been in the background, you know, like I can understand that there would be maybe some level of frustration there because you just kind of want to move forward, right? Like you want to move to the manifestation of this thing actually working out and all of the energy that you've put into it, like paying off, right? Like, you know, there's some growth here, and there is absolutely, even if it's, you know, just kind of taking its time getting here. Because even, you know, just seeing how the snail is coming in with this character and this big bag of money, right? It's just, it's almost kind of like it's bringing the energy back to this reading. To me, like that's kind of how I'm seeing it here. And then, like I said, with the Six of Pentacles underneath that, you know, there's an exchange. There's an even exchange of energy here. So what you have given to this situation is definitely coming back to you. What a cool reading. And thank you for being on the journey with me through this, because like I said, I didn't really have a plan. And I'm sure you could definitely tell that kind of throughout the reading. Um, but I think it did, I think it even unfolded itself quite well. So again, thank you so much for even being on this journey with me. I'm so happy to be on the journey with you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.